Olé!
Hola, Mickey! Hola, Minnie! Mickey! Yeah, feel that beat! Feel that beat! Oh, yeah! Oh, Mickey! Come on, Mickey! Let's dance! Dance? I thought you'd never ask. I'd love to.
Excuse me.
Coffee.
Coffee? I don't want some coffee.
Coffee mug.
I would like to talk about some Mickey Mouse, thank you.
Your water. You need water. Your voice. You sound like...
Will water fix my voice?
Yes.
Well, then I must go get some water. That will delay the podcast, though, and we're already late a whole week. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Mickey Shorts and More Disney podcast. My name is Steve, and if you're wondering what is wrong with my voice, you probably have your podcast player on the wrong speed. I'd like to welcome my co-host. Yes, you are still listening to the podcast you know and love. It's still the Mickey Shorts and More podcast. We are just extra full of sillies tonight. So, Keaton, you want to introduce yourself seriously so they can understand you?
Keaton.
There we go. My name is Steve. That is Keaton. We are here to talk all things Mickey Mouse. Now, we did miss last week. We apologize. Everyone's talking about being so bored at home due to COVID-19. One of the things I am thankful to report is that we are far from bored. In fact, work has gone into overdrive thanks to the virus. As I've mentioned before, I do produce media. Last week we were in the middle of producing a big video for our community, and it kind of took up a whole bunch of our evening time. We were, I think, out shooting with firemen last week at this point in time.
We're super duper sorry.
Yes, that we are. But Keaton was getting a nice tour of the fire station, getting to play with the fire trucks and fire hoses and all sorts of stuff while we were over filming with firemen and policemen and lots of fun community things. So, yeah, long story short, it's been busy. But we have not forgotten about you, fellow Mickey Shortsters. So we are glad to be back. This week we are talking Season 2, Episode 16, Al Rojo Vivo. And Keaton, guess what show number this week is?
What?
We're in show number 40.
40?
40. We have done 40 episodes of the Mickey Shorts and More podcast. How cool is that?
What if we get to 100 episodes?
We will get there eventually.
Wait, what?
Since I couldn't understand what number you were actually saying, I think that's safe. But, again, we are here to talk Season 2, Episode 16, Al Rojo Vivo, which we are going to take a little trip to Spain, speak some Spanish, and see a lot of angry bulls this week.
And Mickey actually gets a little bit red in the episode.
Oh, there's going to be a lot red. Red's kind of a key color in this episode. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the visuals of, the red and white. But we're going to talk about that. But first, my little green friend. That doesn't make any sense to you in the context of this. It's a Star Wars quote. Anyway, let's get to some news before we get too wacky this week.
Friends, loved ones, I've gathered you all here to tell you something important.
Okay, shh. Can you keep it together? Keep it together, man. We pull out the microphones and we just get silly. Yeah. I don't understand what it is about that, but...
You just said but.
I did say but. But I didn't mean it like that.
But.
Get yourself together, man. Okay. So we do have some news this week. It's going to be like the news of the past few weeks in that there's not anything late and breaking. The parks are still all closed down. They could be for a very, very long time, which just makes me sad. But in an effort to keep us all entertained and Disney on top of mind, Disney is releasing some interesting information to keep us all entertained. So first of all, Keaton, do you have any idea what yoga is? He's doing yoga now on his bed. Anyway, if you want to learn the basics of yoga, you can do so now from Mickey Mouse. The Disney Parks blog just released a video of Mickey Mouse doing yoga, introducing basic yoga concepts. He's doing this in front of the castle over in Shanghai Disneyland, which we're hearing rumblings. They may be getting ready to try to open that park. I know they've opened some of the hotel areas, the restaurants and such, but we would love to actually get at least one Disney theme park open somewhere on the planet. And right now it looks like it could be Shanghai. But you can go in, you can watch Mickey Mouse teach us the basics of yoga from this new video on the Disney Parks blog. As always, for these types of things, you got to go to the website, you got to look at the show notes, and click on the links in those show notes to get to the bulk of these articles and watch the videos. For those of you who want to add a little bit to more Disney Parks magic and Mickey Mouse magic to your lives, I have one big suggestion that'll cover two different news stories here, and that is cook. Now, Disney, in the course of this whole pandemic response, has released several recipes. They're constantly releasing things. A few weeks ago, they released the recipe for Dole Whip, which then my wife found and had me running all over town trying to find frozen yogurt, which is always fun. But this week, Disney's released the recipes for their beignets. Beignets and s'mores. So look in the show notes for both of those recipes. These are the official Disneyland or Disney Parks recipes for beignets and s'mores. And I'll tell you what, even as someone who cannot eat sugar, anytime I go to the parks, I have to get some beignets. I mean, granted, I got to take it easy. I can't just eat a whole bag of them. But, one of my all-time favorite things is Mickey Mouse beignets. But now you could try to make them from home. Just follow the recipe, again, in the show notes, and you can make those yourself. Or you can do Disney's homemade s'mores and have a little bit of campfire fun, even though it's not quite camping season yet. And finally, traditionally, when you go to the parks, you need ways of killing time in line. And one of the things that's cool is on the Play Disney Parks app, you can do their trivia. Now, traditionally speaking, you can only do the trivia, you can only play the games when you're in the parks. It senses when you're in the parks, and that's when it allows you to do these things. But now, again, in the midst of the coronavirus, when they're trying to give us more cool stuff to do at home, they've released those games, so now you can go into that app, and you can play the Disney Parks trivia from home.
What?
I know.
Duh.
So we can see how much you know about the Disney parks.
Okay. Like, when you walk around on the phone, you're like walking around Disneyland.
Well, kind of. But you can at least you can have access to play the games. That's what we need to do on a podcast sometime. A game, me versus you. See who does better.
Oh, remember on our very first time we played that game? You should add that in again.
I should.
We should let's call it Game Mode Mania, maybe?
Ooh, there we go. I like that idea. But yeah, we should play more games. I listened to a few podcasts where they play games as part of the show. That would be fun. Good idea.
That's a good name, all right.
It is. You know what we need to do first, though, since we've covered this week's all-exciting news?
Watch Mickey Mouse.
We need to watch some Mickey Mouse. Exactly. So let's introduce this week's episode.
Are you ready for the show?
Again, this is Season 2, Episode number 16, titled Al Rojo Vivo. Now, the official show summary says, Mickey's red-hot temper entices a bull to chase him through the streets of Pamplona, Spain. The original air date for this particular episode was March 27th, 2015. Now, credit where credit is due, as we always do each week. The episode was written by Mark Ackland, Derek Bachman, Ricardo Durante, Paul Reddish, and Dave Wasson. It was directed by Dave Wasson, and what I find curious and interesting is it was storyboarded by Mark Ackland, Ricardo Durante, and Dave Wasson. And the reason that I find that so interesting is that typically, I mean, pretty much every episode I've ever seen of the Mickey Mouse shorts, there's one storyboard guy who does the whole thing. Typically, it's the director that does that. But this week, there are 3 of them, which I think weighs into the complexity that this episode is going to be. This is a complex, very full 3.5 minutes, as we will try to talk and as I'll try to keep up with it. Now, one thing to realize is that, as we've mentioned a lot of times in the show in the past, the Mickey Mouse shorts tries to take us to different places in the world. Introduce us to different cultures, different languages, and this is one of those shows. We're going to Spain. So the whole show takes place in Spain. The whole show takes place entirely in Spanish. There's no English whatsoever in the episode, but yet we can still understand it perfectly fine. So, Keaton.
You'll see where I got that word of butt in the episode.
Oh, this is why you're referring to butts? Oh, boy.
At the beginning, it just happens. I laugh at them.
Warning, there is a big butt coming. And to the 6-year-old brain, that is one of the funniest things that you can say. But... And here we go down the rabbit hole again. All right, Keaton. We need to watch some El Rojo Vivo. So come join me in front of the screen. Give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Mickey Mouse in El Rojo Vivo. We've got all of the whole running of the bulls thing that's happening. All the people are running away. The bulls are chasing them. Mickey and Minnie are having a great time watching them. And suddenly, Pete steps in front of them. And there's Pete's giant butt poking in their faces. That is disturbing. So Mickey's like, hey, can you get out of the way? You're blocking my girlfriend's view. But Pete takes Minnie and strings her up from a light pole. The typical bully that he is. Kicks Mickey out of the way. And he lands right in the middle of the whole Running of the Bulls festival. And now he's just getting destroyed. The bulls are beating him up. He is beat up. And now he's angry as he turns completely red. And Pete's like, ole. Minnie is not happy about this, nor is Mickey.
What?
So now the bulls see angry Mickey because when Mickey turns angry, he turns red. And now they're going to chase him. And here comes this bull. Mickey runs as fast as he can to try to get away from the bull. All these people are clearing the way. He's hiding by a red car. Is that a good idea? No! Bulls like the red! So, okay, he's going to tickle the bull and then run away. Bulls are still chasing him. He's trying to get away. He hides in a red cart, of course. And the bull just destroys that. The bull's now running through the streets, hitting everything they can find that's red. Guitars, signs. Mickey finally dashes around a corner. Whew. He is free. And now he's on a completely red street. What's with all this red? Okay. Oh, he just took off his pants, his ears, his nose, everything. He's making himself as white as possible so he can disappear from this bull, who's looking around at all the red, completely confused. Now destroying the place. So the bull's going to now run off. Mickey's like, whoo-hoo. There we go. He spit his ears out, and then somebody threw a tomato at him, which turned him red. Because this is part of what you do during the bulls. You throw tomatoes. Everyone's throwing tomatoes at him, and now this is making him completely red again. He is sopping red, and there's the bull. Oh! Run, Mickey. Mickey's running away. The bull is chasing him. They're running through all of this tomatoes, juice. He's trying to get away. He's squeezing through buildings. And here comes that bull. Oh. But now the bull's red. So now the bulls are all chasing the red bull. The red bull. Haha. Mickey is... Pete's over there trying to kiss Minnie Mouse. And Mickey has had enough. He whips off his red clothes. He wipes off the bull. See, now you're not red anymore. And now we can have this whole Ole dance with Mickey and all of the bulls. He throws up his Ole, his blanket, towel, whatever you call it. It lands on the bulls, and so now the bulls are attacking each other. It gets rid of Pete. He's like a bell going away. His pants just fell down. The bulls are realizing that Mickey's shorts are red. And
Wait,
now it looks like the chase is going to continue.
Normal one.
Yeah, now he looks like normal Mickey, but his pants are red. Inherently, his pants are red. So that's going to cause a problem when you're in Spain running from bulls. Whew. There's a lot in that 3.5 minutes.
3.5. Really?
Yep.
4 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes and 50 seconds, to be completely honest. But that's how long they typically are. So, Keaton, what are your thoughts on El Rojo Vivo?
I like the butt.
Of course you do. I'm not exactly sure why they decided, hey, when we draw Pete, let's give him a giant butt. Like I said, the world's funniest word to a 6-year-old. We're going to give him a giant butt, and we're going to shove it right in Mickey and Minnie's face. And we're going to have a close-up. We're going to put the camera right next to it so we can see all of its curvatures and butt crack and all that good stuff. Oh, apparently that's a good one, too. But, oh, God. All right, I need another transition word. Anyway, there is an interesting butt in the episode belonging to Pete, and I'm not exactly sure why, but... Oh, God! I can't stop saying it. All right. I'm not allowed to say that word the rest of the episode. Anything else, Keaton, that you liked about that episode?
I liked that he when he gets to close to something red and he just says Rojo.
Do you know why he says Rojo?
Because it means red.
It does. How do you suddenly know Spanish? But yeah, Rojo is red. And the whole episode is about things turning red. We've got Mickey Mouse. I mean, everyone's dressed in red and white because that's traditionally what you would wear when going to the running of the bulls. You dress in white with the red accent. Ironically enough, that's just... Well, okay. So there's like 2 legends that explain the whole red and white uniform bit. One legend says that it's to honor a guy named San Fermin. Spanish again. But it's to honor a saint. And that's why you wear white. The saint was martyred. He was killed. That's why there's the red accents. It's like the blood. There's another legend that says that the runners dressed like butchers who began the tradition. I don't know what's true. I'm not up on my, running from the bulls history. But dang it. The bottom line is, funny that one's not getting a laugh. Bulls are colorblind, so it really doesn't matter the whole red thing. But it's fun for cartoons. We get this a lot of Bugs Bunny. We get this a lot of Mickey Mouse. Fun to make fun of the whole red thing. Oh my goodness, it's impossible to talk tonight. So, there's the whole thing about red and white. Mickey's dressed in white. Red is the accent color of choice for the running of the bulls. And there's a whole fun thing about the use of red. So, for instance, Mickey turns red for a while. The bulls chase him. Mickey causes the bulls to turn red. And then the bulls are like, well, what are we supposed to do? Do we chase each other? Well, how does this work? And then ultimately they turn Pete red, which gets him away from Minnie Mouse, which then he saves the day until his pants fall off. Yes. And then we're back to the regular Mickey red shorts. So a very visual, fun, stylized episode. First of all, it's in Spanish, so we get to learn a little bit of Spanish, but that doesn't distract from anything. We get to see a little bit of animated Spain, as you know, the whole architecture during the running of the bulls, the fact that the buildings are close together. It's just kind of fun to see that and how it's different from what we live in. And it's fun, like I said, to see the whole visual styling of the red versus white and how that all works.
Mickey's trying to turn himself white.
He is. He's trying to turn himself white. How does he do it?
No, I don't even know how to do that.
Okay, I don't know how to do that in practicality, but in the episode, Mickey tries to get rid of all color from his body. So he pulls his ears off. He swallows his ears so that they're not black. He sucks in the stuff off the top of his head, so there's no black there. He sucks his whole face inward to his body to try to get rid of any color so that he can try to hide from the bull. And then, of course, the bull ends up finding him anyway. Because the people start throwing tomatoes at him. Which is another part of the running of the bulls. Now, this is obviously an episode that the animators are really fond of because it's one of the featured episodes in the new Vacation Fun episode, which is what airs at the Disney parks at the Mickey Shorts Theater in Hollywood Studios. There's a lot of stuff from this episode. There's probably more stuff from this episode than a lot of other episodes. So I'm guessing it's one the animators really like. And if I ever get one of them on the show, we'll have to ask them about that. So that is our commentary on El Rojo Vivo. Go and watch it. Definitely entertaining. Definitely worth your time. But... Okay, I did that one on purpose. Keaton, you know what time it is?
Keaton's Joke of the Week.
It is time for Keaton's Joke of the Week. I really wish that there was a butt joke in here, but no. Not this week. So, Keaton, what do you have for us for your Joke of the Week?
Why did the teddy bear say no to the dessert?
Why did the teddy bear say no to the dessert? I don't know. Why did the teddy bear say no to dessert? I don't know. What do you got? What's the answer for this one?
Because he was stuffed.
Because he was stuffed. I should have seen that one coming. Okay. So that, everyone, is...
Keaton's Joke of the Week.
It's not Keaton's butt of the week. No one is interested in Keaton's butt. Let me just tell you that right now. Oh, to be 6 and enjoy potty humor. Okay. Let's wrap up this episode. Or, as I should say, but let's wrap up the episode to get the requisite laugh out of Mr. Keaton here. Remember, everyone, you can listen to all of our past episodes. We are midway through Season 2, so if you want to listen to the previous episodes from Season 2 and all of Season 1, just go to www.mickeyshortsandmore.com and check us out there. Remember, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Google Play, on YouTube, on Stitcher, whatever podcast player you listen to. Just do a quick search for Mickey Shorts and More Podcast. Some of those words. You can find us on there. Go and subscribe. Remember, you can connect with us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Just, again, do a search for Mickey Shorts and More. and we should be able to pop up. If you'd like to send us a quick message via email, you can do so at mickeyshortsandmore@gmail.com. Or just call our voicemail if you'd rather talk to us, and we can feature that voicemail on upcoming shows. Leave a message at 541-321-0472, and that will get a hold of us. Keaton, guess what we're doing next week? Next week is a Bottle Shocked. We get another racing episode. I don't know if you'd call this week's a racing episode. I mean, there's lots of racing through the streets. But next week, there's more racing through the streets.
More butts.
Instead of bulls, it's race cars. As we get to enjoy a nice Grand Prix event. So come back and listen to Bottle Shocked next week. And there's not going to be any more butts next week. We are done with butts. Thank you all for enduring tonight's episode of Mickey Shorts and More podcast. Everyone stay safe out there. Stay healthy. Stay strong. Appreciate everyone listening. I read last night that there's over 1 million podcasts out there now. So we appreciate all of you as our subscribers who've taken the time to subscribe and listen to us. We really appreciate you out there. We love to hear from you. And with that, have a great week. He's never going to sleep tonight. Bye.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun.